Okay guys, so today we are going to be doing a build guide on how to build your first PC or gaming PC, all the parts you need and how to do it, put it together, all the basic things you need to do. And out in front of me here we have all the parts that we're going to be using.
This is an AMD Athlon dual-core Richland K370, I believe. Here's a nice little stock CPU fan. Yeah, works pretty good. Cool. Yeah. Alright, so, and then we'll go over to our motherboard. Oh yeah, by the way, this is like $60, very cheap, dual core, works, does its job. You can overclock it to do some stuff. The motherboard we have here is a A55ME33 MSI motherboard. Micro ATX motherboard. Very cute little thing. It's only got 2 slots of RAM, FM2 plus socket. Got some video outputs. Got the old-fashioned mouse and keyboard stuff along with USBs. You know, everything you need in a motherboard. Pretty cheap. It was around
$70.
$70, yeah.
So here we have the power supply we're going to be using, a Corsair CX500 watt. It's already in the case down there. So 80 plus bronze, so it's an okay power supply. It'll be plenty for our build. Here we have our Ballistix Sport RAM, which is we're just using one RAM stick. It's 8 gigabytes. Just your typical RAM, all you need for building a computer. Here we have Western Digital 4 terabyte hard drive. Typical, what most people use in their computers. A CD drive for installing Windows or any old computer games that you want to play on. $10, you know.
Alright, so basically all this was under $500. The hard drive was from another computer, and CD drive too. So, I mean, those aren't too expensive. CD drive or hard drives run around $60. CD drives, you can get them on the low end for $20 to like $40. And yeah, let's not forget the case. NZXT Source 210. Very roomy case. Comes with 1 fan, or if you get the Elite Edition, comes with 2. It's got 8 hard drive bays. 8 or 7, I forget. Yeah, it's 8. Alright, and it's got 3 5.25 CD drives. You know, very nice. It's got front panel header with 2 USB 2.0s and a headphone jack and a mic jack. It comes with 7 expansion slots in the back, and we have an additional fan in here that we salvaged from another computer. And the reason we didn't take the power supply out is because it's too much of a pain to like re-zip tie all those wires in there. But we're still going to show you which wires go to what, and that should help you. Alright, let's get to the build.
Actually, for the most important part, and everybody's favorite in a gaming PC, is the graphics card. This is a tiny little graphics card, EVGA GeForce GT 740SC, with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. So, runs very quiet, very cool, awesome little graphics card. So, we are going to get into this.
And now we begin.
Okay guys, so first we are going to be installing our CPU. Now, when you're holding the CPU, you don't want to touch it on the little gold pins, because if you damage those, you have to send it back, and that's not any fun. So, when you see this, be a little gold arrow right there. Now, there should be a little gold, or an arrow somewhere on your motherboard, and it's right there. It's really hard to see. But, so we're just gonna slide it in. Bam. Lower the lever. Click it over, And there you go. You got your CPU installed. Next, you want to put on the heat sink, which is what keeps your CPU cool. This is the stock heat sink, so it's not that great, but it'll get the job done. And usually there's thermal paste that's already applied to your CPU or heatsink, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So we're just going to put it over here, stick it on, hopefully, maybe. So, lift this lever up, put this metal part on this hook, if you can find it. There we go. Put it on the other side. Now some CPUs will have you like screw it in or like click it in, but this one, you just pull this little lever over. There you go. Now, here is your fan cable for your CPU. This is what obviously powers the fan. So you want to plug it into your motherboard. Now usually it's a 4-pin, and there's a 4-pin here. So we just slide it in. Come on, there we go.
Alright, so what you'll see is you have to plug the CPU fan in the right spot, or else it's gonna, because the motherboard basically detects when the CPU gets too hot, and then it knows when to speed up the fan or slow it down according to that. So that's why it's a 4-pin header. And what you're gonna see right there, it's hard to see, but right next to the place where we plugged it in, it says CPU fan. That's where you're gonna plug in your CPU fan header. And you'll see another one over here that says system fan header. Can't really see it. It's like that. And usually motherboards will be labeled with this stuff if you can't find something, or you have to choose between two things. Usually explains it. So get back to Russell with putting the rest of it together.
So next, I would advise putting your RAM into your motherboard. So here we have a RAM. Now, when you look at the RAM, there's a little notch right here, and it's only on like one side, so the other side doesn't. There's only one side that has a notch. And on your RAM slot, there's a notch, as you can see right there. So I advise putting it to the closest socket to your CPU. Putting it in, make sure it's in there. Then, pushing down on one side, there's little clips on the side. It should clip in, and there you go, you have your RAM installed. So next, we are going to put our motherboard into the case. So, with your motherboard, there should be an I/O shield, which you just like clip into place. Some of them take a good bit of force, so clip it into place. And then, all your little ports and stuff will line up to your I/O shield. You slide it in. It should all line up nice and pretty like. All pretty like.
Okay, so, loving Russell here. He makes me screw in things because, I'm a slave and stuff. Alright, so here we have our motherboard screws, and we're going to screw the motherboard in. Yay! How exciting! Let's get to it. Alright, so, if you're going to see, there are these little holes right here, here, and here. Yeah, there's the holes. So, what you're going to have is you're going to have these little peg things. If you can see that right there. These little peg things, and they'll be under the holes. And so, that's what it screws onto. They're called standoffs. And you basically screw a screw into it. And you got to make sure the screw is not too tight, because you don't want to, like, crack your motherboard in half. Okay, whoever out there, like, trying to pretend to be Hulk in your, like, living room or whatever, don't take it out on your computer. So you're basically just going to screw it in like any other screw, not too complicated. And you want to make sure it's snug so it touches the metal contacts which ground the motherboard to the case. So in case your case gets like struck by lightning, you won't like fry your motherboard. Well, it probably will, but it gives you a better chance. at not having it get fried.
Toasty.
So maybe we should screw the rest of them in here. Alright, we have that one screwed in. And this one.
All those sounds that sound like it's gonna crack and explode are completely natural. Don't worry.
It's just me. I'm retarded, so. Let's see. So like. Alright. Anyways, for purpose's sake, we're just gonna forget about that screw that I dropped. Alright, so now to put the magic in. This is what makes your computer be all saucy and stuff, and run all those good games that you want to play, like Battlefield. Especially Battlefield, probably, because it's like one of the most graphical, intense games, you know what I'm talking about. So, this is like, if not easier, it's just as easy as putting that RAM in there. Got a nice, like, one of these things that you kind of pop up, pop down, So you're pretty much just going to line this up. You're going to pop it in. Oh, wait. Roll the trigger. You notice right here, how we have all these expansion slots? On the top are screws. You unscrew however many you need to. This one holds up 2 expansion slots. It's too wide. So then you're just going to pop it in. And you push down, hear that click, that's magic, okay. Now let's see. Screw, it's like the same screw as the motherboard. FYI. And then you're just gonna go ahead and screw the sucker in there.
It may take you some extra time if you're retarded.
Yes. It will take you much time. Alright, so, hard drive. If you're new to building computers, and you have no idea what this is, you probably shouldn't be watching this video, because if you don't know what a hard drive is, you should probably kill yourself. Don't take that seriously, because if you do kill yourself, it's not my fault. Don't sue me, but you'll be dead, so you can't sue me. Well, your parents can sue me, I don't know. Alright, let's go. Put the hard drive in. We have 8 bays here to put the hard drive in. Which one shall we say? Vote in the comments.
All of them.
Only if I had that many hard drives. So, for video's sake, we're just going to install it in the middle-ish. On number 4 from the top.
Yay!
Okay. So, where's those screws that we love so much?
I don't like screws.
Nobody does. Sarcasm, young child. I think these are the right screws. I feel like they're not.
We'll find out.
Yes, we will, young one. They're not the right screws, they're way too small. Alright, anyways, who needs screws? Because we're too cool for that. So, what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna say we installed that. Alright. Now let's move on. CD drive! Like a hard drive, but it's a CD, and you pop this thing open, put CDs in, it's like this, but you can take the CD out. Okay, so, it's got these nice little things in here that pop out ever so slightly. Alright, well, they pop out somehow. There's like these little tabs you can push together in there. Pop out. Make sure to insert your CD drive right side up. You can screw it in, but this one just happens to have enough friction that it usually doesn't move. So we're not going to screw it in because YOLO. And the next part. Let's see. So we have all the major components installed for you to run your computer. But wait, there's more. Cables.
Just a little advice, because we don't feel like adding a new segment to the video. We're going to be, we forgot to plug in the PCI power cable into our graphics card. So if you boot it up and the fans sound really loud, like abnormally loud, that might be one thing to check. Or if you have it plugged into the graphics card, your monitor, and it's just not working right, check that. It's like a 6-pin connector that connects to the graphics card, and it usually on the top or the back of it. So check that. And I'm gonna boot it up here real quick, see if it'll load. Yep, looks like everything works good. And you'll see Windows 10 boot up. So wait for it to load. Make sure all the software works. Software is probably the most painful part. So, alright. And over here we see a retard playing Gary's mod with Epic Saxophone mod. And there's his computer, there's his face, he's retarded.